Okay, we've got a bonus feature for you tonight for our show. We're meant to have Carson Jones in, but we've had Tom Little, who's got a big fight coming up against Daniel Dubois. Okay, we've got a bonus feature for you tonight for our show. That's nice. That means that I'm live, all right. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Like I was just saying, we have Tom Little, the heavyweight that goes up against Daniel Dubois that everyone's talking about at the moment. So, Tom, welcome to the show again.
How's it going, sir?
I'm good. Good to see you in the room. Good to have you again. Thank you for coming in at short notice. Very short notice.
That's all right. I'll get better notice for me fight.
So how you been keeping?
Yeah, good. Just working hard, training.
Hold on. Tom, you're whispering. People can't hear you.
I said, 1 second, let me just stop. I heard tried to get Daniel on, but his dad won't let. He's past his bedtime. His dad won't let him out of the room past 9 o'clock. So yeah, part with me.
Okay, fair enough. Then we can't get Daniel Dubois, but we can get you. So for people who don't know who Tom Little is, listening to the show now, just let people know who you are.
I'm a big nasty gypsy who's going to derail a teenage sensation in about 7 days' time.
Okay, so you're on the big bill that's coming up shortly, right?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, just fighting for the English title against the highly rated Daniel Dubois.
Okay.
Triple D.
Yep.
Do anyone know what the third D stands for?
Let me know what the third D stands for.
No?
No, don't know. Tell me.
Well, people put it down as Dynamite Daniel Dubois or however you pronounce that. It's actually not.
What is it?
It's deodorant dodging Dan.
Where did you get that from?
I sparred him before and I had to throw my clothes away. The guy absolutely stunk.
Oh dear. Oh dear. God.
So yeah, so I just thought I'd rain on people's parade like they were chucking out Triple D. I was like, listen, when you find out what it really stands for, you won't be so keen to call him it.
Oh God. Right. So you've obviously seen Daniel Dubois fight before. He's no secret, and you've sparred with him before. How much do you take away from sparring with Daniel Dubois as opposed to fighting him now next week?
Do you know what? I take nothing at all from it. You're just standing in front of someone, sparring, fighting. But you get a genuine. The only thing is, whether your style fits their style. Like a lot can change from a spar to a fight, but you know whether their style suits you. And I know Daniel can't track someone. Like movement is a big no-no for Daniel.
Okay.
I saw enough of Daniel that day that I knew the next time I saw him with a pair of gloves on, it'd be fighting under the big lights. So I made my mind up the day that me and him met in the ring that I'm gonna bash him up. Okay,
the fight you had before that, did you fight Hergovic you fought? Was that right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Went out to Latvia and fought for the Hergovic.
That was on the World Boxing Super Series, correct?
Yeah, that was on the USEC Brutus undercard.
Let's talk about that fight for a second. I know you had high hopes going into that fight. Give us an overview of how you saw the fight before you got in the ring, and then when you got in the ring with Hergovic, and obviously how the fight panned out for you.
Do you know what? The fight was a gamble initially. I took a gamble. I paid a gambler's price. My plans were to take Philip to the back end of the fight, see how he fared. Then I knew that Philip was a very good quality boxer who had experience in the WSB and had fought against good quality amateur senior opposition. So I knew that I weren't just fighting a novice. And do you know what? He fought the right fight on the night. If I would I fight him again tomorrow? Yes, 100% I would. Would I go in with the same game plan? Yes, 100% I would. I just got caught with a showstopper, and that was it. Like, it weren't a fight that I wasn't in.
Right.
And if Daniel wants to tell the truth, Filip Hrgović done a lot of damage to him with a pair of 18-ounce gloves on.
Oh.
Like, a lot of worse damage than what I got done to me. Like, never mind Daniel pulling out of a fight because of flu. The only flu Daniel had was the 2-day arse kicking he got off of Filip Hrgović because Filip was using him as a sparring partner to get ready for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, there's things like that people ain't seeing about Daniel. That like, you get the media, the media followers who just follow what's tweeted about him,
Of
which
course.
they're not understanding. They're only seeing the positive side of Daniel. They're not hearing any of the negative. But when you're on the circuit, you hear things, and you hear things about people quitting, and you hear things about people turning their back in sparring and saying no more, I'm done. So, like, there's plenty of positives for me to take it. Like, when people draw comparisons, the one thing I am 100% sure of, I've stood in front of the two of them. Daniel Dubois is no Filip Hrgović. So I'm not really worried about that. Like, power on its own wasn't what beat me with Filip. Filip set something up, and I paid the price for it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And I don't think Daniel's clever enough to set a big shot. It's heavyweight boxing. I'm not bothered about getting knocked out if that happens. I couldn't care about that. All I care about is coming out and letting my ability show its way through. Okay,
so you hold no fear of the, well documented Daniel Dubois punching power.
No, I wouldn't fear Daniel if he had a shotgun in his hand, because I don't think he got the black brains to pull the trigger.
Very interesting to say that. Very, very interesting. But is this the sort of thing that a fighter says? You're a week out from the fight. Is this the sort of thing you're going to say, Tom, to hype yourself up for the fight, or is this just it is what it is?
I need no hyping up for a fight. A fight's a fight to me. I would have been ready to fight last week. I would have been ready to fight the week before, and from where I come from, I'm born ready. There's no, I'm saying obviously you need to train. I'm not saying I don't need to train to fight. What I'm saying is to get myself mentally ready. I was born mentally ready to fight.
Okay.
The thing is, the difference between me and Daniel, right? There's a big difference between me and Daniel. I'm fighting for my own dream, my own personal dream. He's fighting for his dad's. So I'll go further for my own dream than anyone would fight him for a dream that's not even their own. I refer to Daniel, he's the Michael Jackson of boxing. He's not been allowed a childhood. I'd have a bet he's never seen a naked woman. Like, he's just like, literally boxing, go to the gym, eat good food, train, punch that wall, do this, son, do that, son. I mean, he ain't got his own brain, he can't think for himself. Well, you've seen the man, he can't talk. It's like people's got to translate for him. So,
but how?
Know his own mind is what I'm saying.
But then, okay, what's the difference between having your own mind in that sense or being totally dedicated to a sport?
Yeah, but there's being dedicated, and there's right. You can be totally dedicated. Anthony Joshua's dedicated. There's plenty of other fighters. Look how, prime example, Anthony Joshua. You wouldn't find a more dedicated man than him, right, to boxing. You wouldn't find a better athlete than Anthony Joshua, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he still knows his own mind. He still talks for himself. He still answers his own question. You can see a very clear difference between Anthony Joshua's personality and the non-existent personality that Daniel Dubois don't have.
But
people
say
he's doing it for himself. Daniel Dubois don't even know why he's doing what he's doing.
But Daniel Dubois, I would say he's only 19 or 20 years old. Maybe he hasn't really fully matured in that way.
Well, he should have stayed in preschool because he's going to get a very harsh awakening to a man's world in 8 days' time.
So what do you think you've got in the locker room that's going to surprise Dubois? And if it's such a surprise, why would Warren match you up with him?
Because on paper, I'm the safest bet, aren't I? They have to move him up. They have to move him up. He had to take a fight. Right. Let's have a look at his opposition.
Okay.
Right. Darch. Right. This is how much ambition Darch come with. He won't fight for the Welsh title because he's 10 rounds and he knows he can't get fit enough for a 10 rounder. He said that himself. Right. So he never had no plans of going any sort of distance.
Right. Okay.
Dave Jones, D.L. Jones, refused to fight me and said, unless I get 20 grand to fight me on the small show, forget about it. I ain't doing it now. To get 20 grand to fight on a small show, you might as well go and ask for 2 winning lottery tickets, right? And he said on an interview, well, what's the worst that could happen? I'm going to get knocked out for a handful of money when he signed to fight Dubois. That screams ambition, that dude, doesn't it?
Okay.
Right. Then AJ Carter, I witnessed AJ Carter get knocked out with a jab. Man, right? And that's Dubois' most impressive finish, right? Against a man with a non-existent chin, right? So Warren's got to the point he's thought, right, I'm putting a lot of money into Daniel. It's time for me to test him, right? But I want to do an educated test, right? So let's have a look around the title contention, right? For one, I was the only fighter around near the top 10 who didn't outprice himself out of it, right? And for two, you have a look on paper. I'm not a puncher on paper, and I'm the safest bet, aren't I? On paper. I'm the safest bet. But you have a look for someone who's a bit rigid, a bit stiff, a bit mentally weak. It's a big mistake if you ask me. But listen, we'll say the proof is in the pudding, and the best way to prove it is eating it, isn't it?
Now, 2 people I'd like to talk to you about. First of all, we've had yesterday was fortunately in London to talk to Billy Nelson. I was talking to Martin Bacole. What are your thoughts on Martin Bacole?
Very good fighter. Very good fighter. But who wants fighting? He's going to struggle in it, and I hope he don't because he's a nice fella. But he's a good fighter. I think he has got a future in boxing, but it's for the level that Billy wants to match him at. He's all risk, no reward, because on the circuit, he made Daniel quit. On the circuit, he's making a bit of noise, but he ain't getting it under the lights. He ain't getting the recognition.
But he's very good, though.
I think he's good. I think he's very good. I think he's very good. He's got a mile of potential. Very, very strong, very heavy-handed. Got very good timing. But it's just when he gets to a certain level, when he meets a boxer with the same qualities,
then you'll find out how good he really is.
Yeah, then we'll see how good he is.
Okay, so when you think of Daniel Dubois' potential, you think of Martin Bacole's potential. Who's got the more potential out of the 2?
Bacole. By country mile.
Okay, if let's say you had to fight Bacole instead of, if you had a choice between Bacole and Dubois, who would you fight?
Yeah. If I had a choice.
Yeah.
Well, that can answer that because I had a choice to fight Bacoli or Dubois because I got offered the fights at the same time when I took Daniel.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, somebody's comment here and it said, Ruben Guerrero says, Dubois is the best British prospect since David Hay. I'm not sure about that, but what are your thoughts on that?
I'll tell him to lay off the drugs. And don't believe everything you read, is what I'd say. Because this is how it is. I'm not taking away Daniel Dubois is a talented kid. But let's just put, like, you're boxing, man, you know boxing.
Yeah.
But I know you asked a lot of questions, you asked a lot of the right questions.
Yeah.
But you know as well as I do, he's had nothing in front of him. He ain't really done anything to validate all this big hype. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but to an untrained eye, he looks very promising. For the way he's been fed to the public, so I can understand. But this is what I want people to understand, right? I've got zero pressure. I ain't the superstar. He is. I'm not expected to knock him out in 2 rounds. He's expected to knock me out in 2 rounds, right? From how he's been fed to the public. But here's the downside for Daniel. He shared the ring with me. He knows I'm going nowhere fast. He knows he's in for an hard night. Listen, I'm living inside his little pea brain, rent free, and he can't get me out. I ain't gonna lie, it's as boring as hell in there, but he can't get me out. So he's just got to put up with me for 8 more days, and then I'll break his little career down like a Lego set. And I'll take him to a brass house afterwards and let him lose his virginity. And then I'll help him rebuild his career.
I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Little, you're a good talker. I'll tell you that now. It must be something. You, Tyson, Billy Joe Saunders, you all seem to talk. You all seem to be very good talkers.
You know why? We're brought up. We have to talk for a living. When we're brought up, we have to talk people into having driveways done that they don't need doing.
Yes. And carpets that they don't need.
So talking away into a fight ain't hard.
Oh dear me. JQ says, Tom, do you think he has a boxing brain? Sparring videos on YouTube look second best. I'm not hating. I'd like to hear your answer. You've come across well in the build-up.
Do you know what? He has got a boxing brain. He's got a boxing brain, but it's a very one-dimensional one, is what I found. Like movement, he struggles with movement because of anything else. He knows where he needs to be, but Daniel's got slow feet. Like, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to see Daniel got slow feet. So all you got to do with a man with slow feet is change the angle on him, and like, you don't same time punch as a puncher. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna give no. Like, I ain't got no secret store about my game plan. I'm gonna make him miss, and I'm gonna punish him all night long. Hopefully I catch him and can stop him because I don't want to do 10 rounds. But the thing is with Daniel, he's not got an advanced enough boxing brain yet. I'm not saying it won't come. I'm not saying it ain't there, like, for him. But he's not learned enough yet in his trade to handle what he's got to put up with me, because I'm murder for anyone mentally anyway. You know what I mean? I feel for my poor missus having to put up with me. But he's got to put up with me, plus the fact that when he gets into the deeper water, everyone asks themselves that question: how fit am I? Am I fit enough to finish strong? When can I kick off? And by the time you're thinking of that, your man who's done them rounds before is working away on you and building a lead up. Now, he's also got to think, if he comes out rushing at me, he's going to think, if he withstands this storm, I'm not going to have enough in the later rounds. Then if he starts too slow, I'm going to get a big lead up on him. So he's not going to know where to start and where not to. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of demons to battle with, which a lot of people's not taking a lot of notice. They're just looking at me as a knockover job. But in referring to mate's question, sorry to long this out, I think he's got a boxing brain, but it's not advanced enough for the task he's got at hand at the moment.
Okay, there's the guy that I've got a lot of respect for, and I like the way he's developing. Is Nathan Gorman.
Nathan Gorman's shown a lot of promise. He's shown a lot of promise. I like his style of fighting. Quite similar to my own style of fighting, really, but at a shorter version.
Yeah.
But yeah, he packs a good shot. Mixes the combinations up well. Goes through gears nice as well. And I think last time out against Sean Turner, he showed quite a bit of spite for the first time. So
yeah.
The thing is, like, I'm not just a hater. I don't just hate on people. Like, I give credit when credit's due. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all out there are the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I could sit here and pick 1,000 things that Daniel does right. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Daniel's a bad fighter, but I don't think we can put Daniel and Nathan Gorman in the same street.
No, you can't. No, you definitely can't.
Like, when ability is concerned. So yeah, like the truth and the lie is a lie. And the thing is, what people's gonna find out next Saturday, a lot of Daniel Dubois fans are gonna find out it's a long road, no bends in it, and he's got a long way to go.
Do you know who Daniel Dubois suddenly kind of reminds me of? Pele Reid. Do you remember Pele Reid?
Yeah.
There's that similar look, similar sort of. Although Pele Reid was obviously a kickboxer, and he knocked a lot of guys out quickly. Do you remember?
I'll tell you, honestly, I just can't help it. It's Bubba Gump. Oh, I just see him. Either him or Debo. What's his name? Maybe Debo, that's him. Especially when the check shirt, because they both like check shirt as well. So, but
oh yeah, the other question I was meant to ask you: what the hell happened with that Joe Joyce fight?
You know what? Just circumstances happened. I was meant to go up there tonight, but I didn't get back from Peterborough.
Okay.
Enough. You know what? I'm pleased I didn't go really, because I was really well upset if I went to watch that.
Okay.
But I thought Joe went out and done what he had to do. And the thing is, Joe gets a lot of stick for his style, and but you don't give a big silver medal. You don't give them. Like, you obviously got to do something. Like, I know, like, I'd fight Joe in a heartbeat, because I believe, same as Daniel, for someone a bit rigid, a bit stiff, and not the best at tracking people down. Whereas I think Joe's got the edge on him through experience of tracking people down a bit.
Yep.
And got a better work engine. But I still think movement is the key for fighters like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, counter punching. So like, I'd still take that fight in a heartbeat, which I'm pretty sure I'll beat Daniel Dubois. That will be one that I'll be looking at.
What did you make of his performance against Lenroy Thomas?
Yeah, demolition job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He used his brain, didn't he? Like, you've got an old opponent who's not really been the most active. Jump on him, didn't you? That's it. You start fast and let's see how well his legs hold out. He jumped all over him. Listen, I look at Joe Joyce and that like a tractor. Like, they're not pretty to watch, but they get the job done. They're effective in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't go into a pulling contest with a tractor. run it around, you run it out of diesel, and then it's not very effective at all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, I believe, like, listen, there's keys to beat everyone if
Of course.
you're educated enough and you're talented enough to execute that game plan. But it's got more keys than a mountain bike. You've got to be fair to him, right? I don't think he's even seen him get out of third gear yet. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. But very excited to beat Daniel up and hopefully get a fight with him.
That'll be interesting, eh? That'll be interesting. I've got another person in the room here. A boxing fight says, while we're here, ask Tom what he thinks to a potential fight with Dave Allen in the near future. With the BS matchmaking we have going on at the moment, I think that's a great domestic.
You know what? I think when you look at the fights like tonight, and like I'll fight Dave in a heartbeat. I don't think anyone really needs to question whether I'll fight people. Like, I'll fight anyone providing the money
makes sense.
Everything makes sense. Then but like I said, there's a lot of BS matchmaking. I feel for Joe, like people like Joe tonight. That fella came to lay down, but that had God knows how many pullouts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, it's horrible because the fans like support people and promoters and that ain't grasping. People go to work and they don't earn a lot of money a week. Like some people earn £500 a week, some people earn £300 a week or whatever, and then they're giving £50, £60, £100 a ticket to come and watch someone fight for people to lay down in front of them. That, to me, I'm a person with a conscience, and I'd feel bad if that was me doing that to people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said for a long time I want to be involved in good, hard, competitive fights. I don't care about taking a gamble. I knew my record was never ever going to be 100% because I'm too much of a big mouth. I'm going to always talk myself into a hard fight. Like, I'll always bring the best out of people because I wind them up so much. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I always knew that my record weren't going to be like
Floyd Mayweather.
Unblemished.
Yeah.
Like Floyd Mayweather's. One thing I did know is I'd never be robbing people of watching me just smack some lorry driver out of Lithuania up. I'll be in a fight where someone's coming to have a fight.
That is good and honest. We're going to talk a little bit about, because I said I'd only keep you on for 15 to 20 minutes, so I'm going to be fair. Quickly, your thoughts on the Tyson Fury comeback fight?
You know what? Tyson's done something that was absolute inspirational in doing what he's done and overcome to even get back in the boxing ring.
Absolutely.
People can't criticise the performance. It weren't his fault with the outcome. I just put in his stall. He didn't even get into second gear, did he really?
No.
But, like, what did people expect? They couldn't expect the man that fought Klitschko to come out.
A lot of people, you see, Tom, a lot of people are expecting that, and you see, my only bone with Tyson is that if he didn't mention all the comments about Joe Louis' record and emulating Muhammad Ali, I wouldn't have had a problem. But he said all these things before the fight, and then we got Safa Safiri. That's what the disappointment was. If you had just come back and said, I'm coming back, and it's been a struggle, and I've got back, that would have been fine. But when you mentioned Muhammad Ali's name, that's where I thought, well, you didn't have to do that, because that's put a sort of pressure on you that's unnecessary. Hold on. You're breaking up. You're whispering.
I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
But when you're a personality like Tyson, now can you just come back quietly?
You can come back. Oh, yeah, of course you can come back. But the thing is how you come back. He's coming back saying, the Mac is back. Okay, fine. The linear champion. Okay, fine. That stuff's great. But when you say you're going to emulate Muhammad Ali, like the way he came back, and then you fight Safa Safiri, it's a slap in the face to Muhammad Ali, is it not?
Yeah, of course. Right. Listen, I know what you're saying, but he's trying to rebuild himself, but I'll be honest with you, Tyson he is the best heavyweight since Muhammad Ali. I've shared the ring with a lot. I'm not saying he's better than Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I could very soon sound like an idiot here.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, talent-wise, boxing ability-wise, like, he is a cut above the crop of heavyweights today. But would Safa Safir a good choice in a opponent? No, I don't think it was. But who were you going to give him?
Gary Cornish.
But again, if they would have given him Gary Cornish, they would have said, well, he's only ever fought for a domestic title. What's he going to fight?
That's a great that it's a better comeback. A heavyweight, 6'5". Fought.
It would have been better for him, and I'm pretty sure personally would have been more up for someone of that stature.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is,
You're breaking up again, Top. You're breaking up again.
Mate.
Okay.
The thing is, when you're someone else's investment,
yeah,
you don't really have as much say as it might look in your opponent.
That's true. That's very true.
Do you know what I mean? You can only go out and beat who people put in front of you.
Yeah.
So the rebuilding of Tyson is not just down
to Tyson.
So he can only go out and just beat up who's in front of him.
That's interesting.
Try and make a bit of a show of it. Do you know what I mean?
That's interesting. Now you've put a different spin on it. You said the people that have invested in Tyson, that's a different flip altogether. Because if Tyson, if it had looked as Tyson had made the decision, I'm fighting that guy, blah 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 blah, and now I'm going to come back as Muhammad Ali and all, I'm coming back as emulating Muhammad Ali. Then if he didn't make the Muhammad Ali statement, it would have been fine. If he didn't make the Joe Louis statement, it would have been fine. But the fact he made those statements is what, for me, was a turn off, because I'm like, you didn't need to make those statements. You could have come back, you're the MAC, you're linear champion, you could have told us 1,000, 1,000,000 times about the Klitschko fight. That's fine. You deserved it, you've earned that. But the Ali thing, that was not necessary. I didn't think it was necessary.
No, guys, listen, Tyson's got verbal diarrhea like myself, and he's like, just is what it is. You can't.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes, like sometimes your mouth runs away before
you think about it.
Before you even think.
And the thing is, the thing is, I know Tyson well enough to know that he knows boxing so well. He's so smart, so intelligent, so switched on. Tyson is. That I think. Tyson, why say something like that? You're such a switched on guy. You're better than this, you know? And like, when I'm watching him fight, people are saying to me, oh, you're harsh on Tyson. I said, no, it's like this guy's got so much potential. Like, he's got so much talent. Potential's not even the word. He's got so much talent. Because to say potential is a bit of a slight. Just because potential isn't realized. Do you know? He's got so much talent, Tyson, that watching him against Safari was like, what are we doing? And he was clowning with Safari. I understand the showmanship, but he was clowning for the whole of that fight. And I'm like, come on, you know?
Yeah, well, the thing is, like I said, he was never going to come back and look like he was before he went, and there was a lot of pressure on him as well.
Of course.
Obviously, some of the pressure that he put on himself with the statements and everything.
Yeah.
But it's still, you have to deal with it. It's a lot of pressure on you when you've spent such a long time out the ring. You've had to overcome certain hurdles in your personal life. You've had to overcome the hurdles of weight loss and everything. I think he went out there, he done what he had to do with whatever grace he could muster. But I think as the fights go on, you will see more of him come back, and I have no doubt in my mind he'll regain his spot, because all the time Joshua got a hole in his backside, he won't be no good to Tyson.
What about Deontay Wilder? What sort of threat does he pose?
The same one that Joshua poses, a puncher's threat. But to me, Vladimir Klitschko was a much more educated, better boxer and held as just as much power as Joshua and Wilder.
Okay.
But he couldn't detonate that big game-changing shot on Tyson, and he was 11-year unbeaten champion when he fought Tyson. So not a man that already tasted defeat, been out the ring for 18 months, and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
I think there's a world of difference between the two Klitschkos.
Of course,
Joshua and Tyson fought.
But don't say that too, lads. Sky doesn't believe that. Don't say that to Sky, because they think that he's off. He was sitting down on the couch for 2 years, but he was a better fighter than when Tyson fought him, according to Sky, of course.
Yeah. You know what? Sky's full of shit sometimes.
You said it. People know it. The other thing is, let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders. What the hell is going on? I spoke to Abel Sanchez, and he said to me, the rumors of a Billy Joe Saunders fight are they're not true. So what's going on with Billy Joe Saunders? Tell me.
I don't know. I think he suffered a bit of an injury as far as that. Do you know what? I haven't seen Billy Joe in a good 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
I think he suffered a bit of an injury at the tail end of camp.
Right.
Unfortunately, had to pull out because he won't. The thing is, when you've come off of a high, like
Lemieux
bashing up Lemieux the way he did, but coming off of a fight like Akabov, then going Woody Monroe, which was a little bit lackluster, but still got the job done well enough, and then went and pulled a career best performance against a world class fighter in their own territory.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna risk going into a fight not right to undo that hard work that he did.
Yeah.
So obviously he's come out and he said, look, I'm not really, which I can't blame him, not one bit for. At the end of the day, it's not like Martin Murray was a mandatory spot. He was being given that. So give with one hand can be taken away with the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So don't be wrong, I feel for Martin Murray. It is gutting when people pull out. I've had a few pull-outs on me. Yeah. But it's just one of them things. It's boxing, isn't it? You can't accept. What would people rather do if, heaven forbid, something went wrong that night and Billy Joe lost his title and then he started complaining, "Oh, I had this injury." They'd only call him a cop-out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
of course,
you're treading a fine line, aren't you? You can't really win. That's the only problem. Okay.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions and then I'm going to let you go. Very quickly, your thoughts on Chisora versus Takam?
Brilliant fight.
Well, I think so too.
Brilliant fight. That's probably the most fan-friendly fight out there. I think I'm more into that fight than I am
the main event.
Parker White.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very good card. I like that card. That's a very good card.
Who are you picking for Takam versus Chisora? I'm going with Takam.
Do you want a cheeky tenner on it?
Could we go for it? Yeah, cheeky tenner sounds good to me. What do you?
We'll have a cheeky tenner. I'll have Chisora.
You go Chisora. I'll go with Takam. You go with Chisora.
I'll have Chisora.
I hope Chisora comes in shape for you, and I hope he's motivated.
He's in the same gym as me, so I know he's in shape.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. It depends. Well, Takam's going to come in shape as well, isn't he?
I think that man was born with a six-pack.
He was, wasn't he? Have you ever sparred with Takam?
No, and I don't plan on either.
Oh, shit.
people want you to keep sparring these big scary guys. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to the good, like, nice, friendly, fat guys? Like, the John McDermott's of the business. You know what I mean? Go and have a spar with them. Like, people want you to keep sparring people that look like serial killers. Like,
Oh,
that's not good for a man's mental state.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna let you go. Tom, it was really great catching up with you.
Brilliant, thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time. How do people reach out to you, Tom Little?
You can get me on all my social media feeds. Follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. I'm shit at all of them, so bear with me. But yeah, you can follow me Tom Little, Tom_Little 23 on Instagram, or Tom Not So Little on Twitter.
Tom, again, you are fantastic to have on the show. We need you having more regular on the show because you've got great breakdowns and really have an understanding of the sport.
Thank you very much. God bless.
God bless you, champ. See you soon.
See you later, mate.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you have it, Tom Little. And hopefully in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we'll have Bermain Stavern. It won't be a long interview because I have to get to bed. I've got coaching in the morning. So I'll be back in a minute, hopefully with Bermain Stavern, the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world. See you in a minute.